Welcome back to the Least Professional channel on YouTube. How y'all doing today? So I wanted to answer a question today that I had at first when I started, and it's a question that I don't think anybody's really answered to my satisfaction. So I want to answer it how I think it should be answered. And that question is: do you actually need a tripod to take photographs? Um, Now, I think the reason that this is kind of controversial for some people because there are people out there that just absolutely hate tripods, want nothing to do with them at all, will refuse to use them. Then there's people that's the only way that they'll take pictures is on a tripod. So my answer to this is it depends. Oh, stunning. Okay, so the reason that I say it depends is a lot of it has to do with what kind of photography you're doing and what camera you have and what conditions you're shooting it under. So if you've got a camera phone that you're using primarily, most of the time you're not really going to need a tripod. Um, Maybe if you take a really zoomed in picture, but on the really zoomed pictures, they aren't great with the zoomed pictures. So keeping interrupted by cars. So if you're going to be taking pictures on just your cell phone, I shouldn't say just your cell phone because taking pictures on a cell phone is the way most people do it. But if you're going to be taking pictures on your cell phone, most of the time you won't need a tripod unless you're shooting video, something like where you want to set it down somewhere, or if you want to be in the shot, then you'll need a tripod to set it down there. Those kind of situations, you definitely will. Other than that, if you're shooting on, so I've got my camera set up here on the tripod right now, and there's another car coming. So much traffic all of a sudden. So the reason I have my camera set up on a tripod right now is because what I was aiming at, if you look off in the distance, right there, there's a group of trees, and there's one tree right there on the end. I had my telephoto lens all the way up to the full 250 millimeters to capture that tree and stuff around it. Now, if I was hand holding while doing that, it still could be done, but there's going to be more chance of shaking, especially under the lighting conditions, because I had to turn the shutter speed down a little bit. I think I'll have to double check. I think I was at 60. Yeah, for several of the shots, I was at 60 frame or 60 1/60th of a second. I was at 1/60th of a second. Let's see if I can actually get that in there. Not as well as I'd like to. So I was at 1/60th of a second when I was trying to grab that. And when you're zoomed in at 250 millimeters, 1/60th of a second, even the tiniest bit of wobble is going to cause some blur or some softness in your image. If you're going for a tighter image, a sharper image, you want to have it as steady as possible if you have to have that lower frame rate. If your frame rate's up higher, it's a lot more forgiving. But with the lighting conditions and stuff I had, I couldn't run the like 1/1000th of a second would have been awesome, but I couldn't run that. So putting it on a tripod allows you to catch stuff like that. Um, Makes it a lot easier. Now, if it's a bright sunny day, which it's kind of bright today, but the sun's not directly overhead, so it's a different angle that the light's hitting at, so it's not quite as bright. If the sun was all the way up there, right above me, and it was really bright out here, and I could run, 1/750th or 1/1000th of a second or higher, I would much prefer to handhold. If I'm running 55 millimeters closer up for a statue shot, for a lot of these statue shots that I get, I'll usually try to handhold those just because it's a lot easier, especially with some of the angles. Sometimes you're going to want to get looking up at something for a different angle of a shot. You're going to try to get different kinds of shots that are going to require you to get in some pretty awkward angles, and a tripod just isn't great for those. Now if you're holding it and you don't have a tripod, let's say you do have one of these cameras, you don't have a tripod. Um, there's a good way and a bad way to hold it. This is why I brought the other tripod out. I know the sound's not going to be great because I didn't hook up the microphones. And there's a hell of a buzzing going on with the cicadas right now. So you want to take your, in this case, my left hand, put it up against your body and rest the camera in that. And that's how you hold it. And then you take your free hand, you bring it around. So right there, and that way you can use it. You want to use it with the eyepiece, so you want to be looking down through it, as opposed to having the screen on. Because having the screen on, you're going to have to hold it out further, and you aren't going to be able to see it as well, or you're not going to be able to capture it. You're not going to be able to capture as sharp an image because you're not going to be able to steady it as much, if that makes sense. So I think that's going to do it for this video. I think everything came out okay with this one. It's a shorter one, but there wasn't a whole lot to say about it. What's your opinion on tripods? Have you used one before? Do you think they're great? Do you think they're not great? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Please leave a like for all the cars that I've had to deal with today. Everybody and their brothers out on this road today. This is a back road. It shouldn't be this busy. All right, before we get interrupted again, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about tripods, if you have an opinion, if you don't, or if you have a suggestion for a future video. Here comes another car. Have a great day.